Are you tired of being around people who just don't get you? Have you been putting yourself out there but not able to find anybody that matches your vibe? You're not alone. Making friends, especially as an adult, is hard. My name's Coach Lee. I'm a social connections coach, and I want to help you find your tribe. I have a 3-step coaching program for groups and individuals that's designed to help you get to the right place, to meet the right people, to have the right kind of conversations that leave you feeling fulfilled, appreciated, and understood. After going through the Find Your Tribe coaching program, you'll discover who it is that you really want to be connected to, how to find those people, and what you need to talk about so that your relationship moves from an acquaintanceship to a close friendship. And with this program, you won't be on this journey alone. You'll have access to a private community in which there are others who are just as intentional about making the kind of connections you are. You'll also have access to live events like weekly Q&As, speed friending, and much more. You'll be able to practice your skills in a safe environment and feel confident to connect authentically when you get out into the real world. If you're ready to get started on making meaningful connections and lasting relationships, then apply to the coaching program by using the link in the show notes. Hey, what's going on? My name's Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about what it means to be nice versus being kind. If you're being nice, you might be a person who is frustrated with the relationships that you have. Because if you're nice, that doesn't mean that you're showing up authentically. That likely means that you're trying to go along to get along, do things to please people. You might be a people pleaser. But anyway, society tells us that nice people are good people, right? It's a virtue that we need to stick to. But I want to tell you about how it's harming your relationships and you can do something about it. I recommend, instead of being nice, that you be kind. Listen on to find out what that means. Are you ready? Let's go. True or false? If you are nice, people will like you. People will love you. People will be there for you. If you pour time, energy, and effort into your relationships, and you are nice to those who aren't even nice to you, eventually you will win them over. True or false? I have found that that's not necessarily true. Being nice, killing them with kindness, things like that, does not really win people over. And I know most of us have had this idea that being nice is a virtue and we need to be around nice people. We need to be nice people ourselves. But if we look into what nice does, what are the actions and behaviors of nice people, we see that there's something festering underneath the surface. Because the actions and behaviors of nice people is to smile and to give and to support and to be selfless and to care and to do all the things for the best interest of the other person, in hopes that perhaps you'll have it reciprocated to you, or perhaps in service to something more powerful and bigger than you. So you really hide. You don't talk about those things that are important and interesting to you because they're not nice. They're not polite. No politics, no religion, and nothing else that's important and interesting to you. Nothing else that shapes who you are. You don't talk about those things because they're not nice, because maybe somebody else will be upset by them. And we carry this idea on into our relationships with others, our friendships. We want to be nice so that people will be nice to us. But what we do is we hide, as I said. And what I mean by hiding is that we don't talk about what we really think and how we really feel. We don't share those things with others because they're going to ruffle somebody else's feathers. And anything that we do, which is wild, but this concept right here is that we have the power to control other people's feelings. We have the power to control whether or not they get upset. So if you're nice, then you won't get people upset because they can't be trusted to control their own feelings. It's all you. So be nice and everybody else will be kind. It radiates that way. That's what we've been taught. But really something is missing there because we are complete people with ups and downs, lefts and rights, desirable feelings, undesirable feelings, anger, sadness, frustration, along with our joy and gratitude and happiness. We have a multifaceted existence, right? And when you're nice, in these terms that I'm speaking, when you're nice, you don't get to experience or access all of you. You don't get to express it. And what happens is that it festers underneath the surface. And that's what I've done for years upon years. That's what I've done. So when we say we want someone nice or we want to be nice, I want you to consider that what we really mean to say is that we want to be kind. And we want people who are kind. See, a person who is nice is a people pleaser, right? And as the person that had all those feelings festered underneath the surface, I unintentionally destroyed all of my relationships because I wanted to be nice. I wanted to give and give and give, and I resented and I resented and I resented. And I was disgusted with everybody. Everybody in my life. You don't understand what I sacrificed to talk to you or to support you or to help you. You don't understand how many miles I would drive for you. I have driven for you. You don't know how many times I've been tired and exhausted, but I still showed up anyway. I was so angry. And I did all that stuff by just not expressing my real feelings. I was not kind to them. I was trying to control them with my niceness. Tit for tat. You do something for me, I expect it back. Underneath the surface of nice people, they really do want to express the other emotions that haven't been expressed. The anger, the sadness, the fear, the frustration, the resentment. They want all that to come to the surface because, and I firmly believe this has been my experience, but I believe it might be yours too if you're in this situation, because we just want people to understand how we feel about our experiences. All of it. We want everybody to know the ups and downs. We want everybody to know the left and rights. We want everybody to know what's joyful, what's painful. We want everybody to know, or at least one person, not broadcasting to everybody, want at least one person to know. And that's why we're looking for these real, meaningful friendships, is because we feel like we can trust them with our thoughts and feelings and we're not going to be judged. And when you're a nice person, when you hide all that stuff from people, you don't give them the opportunity to know that. You don't give them an opportunity to show that they can support you when you need it. They can understand how angry you are, how sad you are. They can understand your fears, and they're not going to hurt you for it. They're not going to judge you for showing it. They're not going to. When you find the right people, you want to share with them, right? Just as much as you want people to give you, let you support them as a nice person, there are people out there who want to support you in the same manner. They really care about you. And so instead of being nice, I want to encourage you to be kind. And the difference is that when you're kind, you trust the person that you're sharing with your real feelings. You trust them to talk about those uncomfortable and unpleasant things that happen with you. Listen, one thing that I have really discovered as being a nice guy, former people pleaser, and all that, is that whether or not you speak how you feel, whether or not you share that in a nice conversation over a cup of tea or coffee with your friend, it's going to surface. It's gonna come up. Your anger, your frustration, your fear, your sadness, all that stuff is gonna come up. And it's either gonna come up out of words over a nice conversation, or it's gonna come up in some action. Or it's gonna come up when you least expect it. You're just going to flip out for no apparent reason to anybody else, but you know you've been holding something back. And here it goes. You don't have any control over it anymore. It's desperate to be expressed. and boom, you ruin your relationship. That's what happened to me so many times. I want you to take this as a cautionary tale. That was my pattern of behavior. I would just do that over and over and over again. So if your desire, the kind person, if your desire is to create an environment for others who will appreciate you, who will respect you, who will support you and will ask you for support, who will know when you're capable of giving them support and when you're not. If you want to create this kind of environment, you have to stop being nice. You have to be kind. You have to be open. You have to be honest. You have to be authentic, because kindness fosters an environment where people feel safe to express themselves without fear or judgment, and that will cultivate that deep, meaningful connection that you're looking for. Give up the front. Stop masking and tell people how you really feel. It's an act of kindness to do so. Believe me. I'll be right back with the answer Reddit question. Hey, this is Coach Lee Hopkins here. I just want to let you know that you're awesome and your feelings matter. I know the holidays are fast approaching, and if you're going home to a family to be surrounded by people who don't believe that your feelings matter, and you constantly get caught up in the fighting and the frustrations, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, the obligations that you have with family, I want to empower you to break those generational patterns of disdain and distrust. I will be releasing content from my masterclass, Friends with Family. This content from Friends with Family is going to help you develop skills to be more grounded in yourself so that you can actually connect with your family. You're going to learn to create more connecting and curious conversations. You'll also learn how to navigate high drama topics without getting drawn into a conflict. Now, this course is not going to fix deep-seated problems that you might have with your family members, and it won't heal any traumas that you've experienced. It's going to help you communicate more authentically, to empower you to have regular conversations and actually connect with your family. It's my sincere hope that more of us out there who are breaking those generational patterns, to not just stop the pain from moving forward, but to really become friends with our family. If you want to be a part of this, check the link in the show notes. All right, now it's time for the Reddit friendship advice question. If you have a friendship advice question that you think I should answer, tag me in it on Reddit. My handle is Brilliant and Resilient. That's Brilliant, the letter N, Resilient. Am I being a bad friend by being too nice? I'm always told by my college friends that I'm too nice. I'm polite as can be. I always try to be there for them, and I try to be the nicest person possible. I guess I'm what's called an overgiver to them, because I never hesitate to pick up the bill or forget to give them a gift for their birthday. Sometimes I only think they look at my generosity by the size of my wallet, and they always make a point of how much money I'm spending. There have been times where I've been told that I make people uncomfortable by being so kind, and at times it's not even overbuying things. Sometimes they tell me this when I'm offering simple favors or trying to lend a hand in some way. Over and over, I've been told this by my friends, but in the end, I feel like I don't know how to be anything else. I don't feel like I contribute anything else without being too awkward or out of place. Has anyone ever experienced this? I like this Redditor's post because they seem to have this awareness that they are in this autopilot mode where they're just like, this is the thing that I can do for my friends, and I'm going to do this thing. They have this awareness, though, that it also annoys and it hurts their friendship in some way. They're noticing this. That's why they posted, and I can tell this because, they said they don't know how to be anything else. It doesn't seem like they're coming from a place of malice. Nice people, even though they may have this controlling thing that happens in the background, it's usually not the thing. It may not be the thing that leads them in front, They're just like, I want to be a good friend, and this is what I need to do to be a good friend. I know that being nice is a good friend. I see that they are paying for things. They're picking up the bills and being thoughtful. Can you imagine why this would make you people uncomfortable? I'd be curious to know an audience out there if we were actually talking, but if you'd be interested in writing in, let me know about your experiences. Being uncomfortable with somebody giving you so much. Because I imagine, for me, I'm like a few steps ahead. I'm like, oh yeah, you don't know who you are and how to express yourself to me without giving me things that you think I'm going to like. And perhaps you don't like conflict either. And perhaps you will explode on me someday because I'm not going to be capable of reciprocating. And even if I was capable of reciprocating to your level, you probably wouldn't like it either, because you don't really have, other than being the way you are and giving me lots of things, you won't have a leg up, or you won't have a reason to be with me. You won't think that I have a reason for you to want to hang out with me, right? So I go all the way down that, and I think there's so many reasons, but the thing comes down to their own insecurities. They don't really know how to be somebody else, and it seems like they want to be somebody else. And what I would ask, or what I would suggest, because they're asked if has anyone experienced anything like this where they're being a bad friend by being too nice, is that they're putting a undue burden on people to give back, to think of them as much, to not show any faults, and things like that. And there's also this reciprocation idea that comes from getting. There is a natural desire for a lot of people to return the favor. So if you give so much, you return the favor. And so you keep activating that, and people just don't want to be burdened with that. Right? So it feels like they're being controlled. But has anyone experienced this? As I mentioned, I have experience where I just wanted to give and give and give so I wouldn't be forgotten. I wanted to be known, appreciated, supported. But I couldn't, because I didn't talk about things that are real, true, and important to me. So being kind is to tell them about the feelings that's going on, being a bad friend, hearing their feelings about this. So I guess what I would recommend is that for this person to figure out how their friends really see them is by really stop giving them these things. Scaling back a whole lot. I would scale back a whole lot. I would look at how my friends are treating me, if they're trying to pay for a lot of things, or if they're always remembering my birthday and things like that. I want to treat them how they want to treat me. I want to pay attention to that. I want to come at them on an equal level and see if I like it, see if they like it, see what happens. I want to make sure that I'm giving just as much as I get, so that it doesn't feel like I'm forcing, or that I'm trying to do more so that I can be seen as more valuable, so that I can be seen as a person who can't be forgotten or will always be appreciated. Really, when you're kind to people, when you tell them about how you really feel, when you talk about things that are real and important to you, like the awkwardness that you'd mentioned here, I feel a bit awkward, I don't know how to do anything. So I would suggest that you start focusing on the things that you believe are awkward. What are you doing in these situations? Overcome this awkwardness by focusing on it rather than giving gifts and hoping people don't notice. Because it seems like you being too nice is creating an awkward situation too. So you may as well just focus on those little things that you might be doing that might seem like they're awkward. Now, I wouldn't ask them straight out, is this awkward? Am I doing something that's weird? I don't know what I'm doing. I wouldn't ask them straight out. I would certainly make that adjustment to stop giving them as much and reciprocate on a level that feels even and equal to watching that. But then when it comes to this awkward thing, I would pay attention to how they respond to some of the things I do. I would just look and pay attention. And I would have a conversation if it felt awkward. Like, oh, I feel awkward. Or I wouldn't ask them all the time if I'm doing something that's awkward. Because many times people don't. I would probably wait for them to bring it up. If I was doing something awkward, I'd probably wait for them to bring it up. As I talk this out, as I think about it, I'd be like, and wait for them to say something that was weird, dude. I was like, oh, what was weird about it? What would you have liked me to see or like to see instead? Just to learn what is important to them. But I wouldn't go and burden them, because I say burden, I'm burdening them with, am I doing it okay? Am I okay to be here? Am I weird? Am I strange? Sometimes it feels so awkward, and then now they're burdened with this idea or this responsibility to take care of your feelings and to make sure that you feel good in the space with them. And so that's something that will separate your relationship. But just the kindness of stepping back and hearing what they have to say. They say you're being too nice. So hopefully you have stepped back and you have decided that you are not going to be too nice and give too much, reciprocate on what it is that they give you, and then watch for the awkwardness that you think, because it just might be in your head. If I had specific examples, I could speak to them, but it just might be something that you might be imagining. And if the battle is in your head, it's not for your friends right away. It's for somebody else to help you sort that out. Maybe a coach, maybe a therapist. Redditor, thank you so much for asking your question. I know that you didn't ask me to answer it, but I did, and I hope that it helps. Best of luck to you. Take care. My name is Coach Lee Hopkins, and you have been listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. You can find me at patternsofpossibility.com and on all social media at Patterns of Possibility. And as always, I want to encourage you to be yourself, live your truth, and there you'll make lasting friendships.